All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends beyond the binary, it's time for the podcast that the first time you heard about it, you said, well, I'm sorry, what? It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And there's two things that I need you to remember, Mauro. If you're going to shop on Amazon, use our Amazon links at Amazon, sleepwithmepodcast.com/Amazon. In Canada, sleepwithmepodcast.com/AmazonCA. Or sleepwithmepodcast.com/Amazon UK in the UK. Those people that have been using it, it's been absolutely a huge help. Because at this point with the podcast, every single penny counts. And we get, if you go over to sleepwithmepodcast.com/Amazon and you use the link, you get the same Amazon you always use. We just get a small percentage of the sales. So if you remember to do that tomorrow, that'd be great. And the other thing is, if anyone knows Yusuf Islam, Cat Stevens, or has a connection to him, if you can let him know or tweet and say, hey, you should go on WTF and talk to Mark Maron. I think it'd be a great guest, and I know the people at WTF would love to have you on, Yusuf, Cat. So if you can get in touch with you, say, hey, I happen to know him. I've met him, or I've done business with him, or we're friends. Mr. Bird, what would you think? How much would you love to hear Mark and Yusuf talk? And can you even imagine if he even played some songs while he was there?
We want to hear Cat Stevens interviewed by Mark Maron. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? So tweet at Mark Maron and also Cat Stevens. Tell him we want to hear about your life. We want to hear about your life. Mark Maron and Cat Stevens, yeah. We want to hear them talking to each other on WTF. We'd like to hear it sooner rather than later.
All right, so thanks, Jonathan. But yeah, if you know Yusuf Islam, if you know Cat Stevens, put him in touch with Mark Maron, or tweet him, or say, hey, we'd love to hear more about your journey and your story, and we'd love to hear you talk to Mark about it. I'm a fan of both of you. I mean, I am. I'm speaking from the first person right now. I love Cat Stevens, Yusuf Islam. I love your music. And I love Mark and the way he interviews people, in the sides and the depth to the conversation he can have. And I love to see the two of them together. So just in case, if you know, if you have a connection, let me know, or let someone over at WTF know. And that's it. Let's get on with the show. All right, hey, people night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep. Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to put you to sleep. We do it the bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to do, or what I've done actually, in anticipation of your arrival, welcome, traveler. If you feel like you're in a RPG game or something, welcome, traveler. What I've done in preparation for your arrival is prepare a safe place. But really, that's what I've done, is prepared a safe place where you can set aside whatever's been keeping you up at night, whether it's tossing, turning, thinking, feeling, sensing, noises, transitions, lists, paperwork. Get the paperwork out of the bed. Go ahead. Let's do an imagine. Hey, let's do this. Talk about a right turn from an RPG metaphor, but let's say everybody, let's take a collective breath. And let's take a corrective breath. One more for good measure. Okay, and now I want you to, kind of wiggle into your bed a little bit. And let's put on the old Imagination Station. Remember that show? Every once in a while I talk about it, Imagination Station. It had a subtle impact on me. It was kind of like Bob Ross, but with drawing space stuff, Imagination Station. I don't remember much about it, but I remember it's a great name. But we put on the old imagination. Now I can't stop saying imagination station because it's so damn good. But put on the imagination nightcap. Let's put it on our heads. Come on. Don't be embarrassed. And now we're going to reach out in the deep dark night, because that's where I'm sending my voice across the deep dark night to carry off into dreamland, and my intention to help you fall asleep. But I want you to reach out. I want you to grab. It's one of those 3 layers of levels of manila envelopes, each one filled with paperwork, loose paper, stapled paper, no binder clips that I can sense. There's flags in there. There's Post-its. Okay, now grip it 2 hands, one on each side. You choose lengthwise or widthwise. Hold it. It has some heft to it. Just squeeze it tight and breathe. And now you use your elbow, like use an elbow motion to kind of just get an idea of the best way to project this stack of friggin' paperwork. Symbolic and ideally not real paperwork that could get you fired from work tomorrow, or, cause you to go, because I'm not legally liable. So don't, send me paperwork, please. It's paperwork that has heft. You're moving your elbows. You're deciding what is the most traumatic way to get this paperwork out of your bed. This paperwork contains everything that's been keeping you up at night, everything your brain, everything your body has been pestering you about, everything, even the real people in your lives or whatever, all of geez, in these 3 manila envelopes. I don't think they're called manila envelopes now that I'm thinking about it. They're are they file folders? And talk about a generic term. What the hell, manila? No wonder I misuse it. It's not my fault. I was raised wrong by a world that, just uses manila. Because first of all, a manila envelope and a manila folder are 2 entirely different colors. You should get Pantone on the phone, because I didn't realize that we could have been using that for a long time. Pantone on the phone. That's a nice alliteration, and except I can hear everybody scoots. It's not Pantone. And I say, well, it's just, that's a witty joke then. Whatever the pronunciation is, my friends. Pantone on the phone. Sir, we have Mr. Pantone on the phone. Okay, does he have my paperwork? Okay, good, because tell him to grip it. We're in the middle of a paperwork something. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. All right, and ask Mr. Pantone, make sure to find out about those. What the heck? Hey, can you write this down for me? Ask Mr. Pantone, what the heck is up with manila? I don't know how to spell manila, though. Yeah, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, ... something. And then double underline, like one of those underlines that looks like that's it. Beautiful. Okay, I got to get back to the paperwork. Okay, so it turns out they're manila file folders. And who knows how you say that word. But I got that person on the phone. Okay, so half the paperwork now. Will you shoot it directly across the room? How close is the wall to the foot of your bed? If it's like my room, it's not too far, but will you shoot it up? Do you have a head space to do so? Are you going for a spreading of these papers, or just a direct thump into the wall? And as you do it, think about, hey, I don't want this crap in my bed. On top of this manila thing, Scoots is right. Like, one is like a sickly brown color, and the other one is like a bleached bone color or something. And you say, did Scoots say bone or blown? And I said, yeah, blown, because I don't know. That wouldn't have been good, because that would be too white. But it's time. Okay, on 3. We're going to breathe 1. We're going to breathe 2. And we're going to breathe 3 and throw the envelope. And maybe it's going in slow motion. and dramatically doing some, or maybe it's flying at a top speed, picking up speed, going through your wall and heading towards its destination. It could be that by the magic of podcasting, paperwork's leaving your life and just getting, properly filed. That'd be great for me. That's why I threw mine very hard at the wall, hoping it would end up wherever, because maybe the files, they say, hey, we just want to, we just want to be, collated. That's a kind of a sexy word when you think about it. Hey, we just want to be collated, man. I say, well, it's not sexy when you say it like that, papers. You say, how about you put some collation in my station, if you know what I'm saying? I say, okay, now you're talking. Now you're at my level. I say, if you throw work and that's the collation in my workstation, I say, okay, now I can snicker and move away, knowing that I've crossed over into another, so holy collation though, or collated, I just want to, the papers say, hey, I just want to be collated for once in my life properly and with love and tenderness. I could get a mystery bard on this, collation love songs. Say, okay, well, that's one song, Scoots. Okay, collation lust songs. They said, well, there's too many paper. Okay, I got it. You stick, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess that's the work. You're right, whatever they call it, division of labor. I stick to you got it, I got it. Sorry about that. Anyway, if you're new here, if this is your first time at the podcast, welcome. Usually I explain it a little bit better. That was like a wholly avant-garde, and that was not anti-anything. This podcast is here. Welcome everyone, all people, all papers, however you choose your manila, collators and non-collators, stampers and flaggers, binder clippers, whatever, or, people like me say, see that shoebox? Throw it in there. I'll get to it one day. One day you'll be paid, Bill, if you're not on auto pay. I mean, I tell the gas company, I overpay you in the summer, I underpay you in the winter, man. It all works out, right? It's auto pay. They say it's like a gamble. You're getting $35 no matter what, right? And the guy says, I'm just here to shut it off, man. And I say, yeah, man. I say, where's the love? I say, this is a predictable income stream. So what do you guys say? He said, please. And I said, well, okay, that's not my gas meter anyway. I said, these aren't the gas meters you're looking for. And he says, I love it. Okay, I won't do it. And I say, yes. Star Wars fan saves the day. Oh, so anyway, if you're new here, don't, if you're a utility, just give me one price, okay? Holy cow. I can't handle metering. I'm not open. And then why do you put other stuff in with the bill? And holy freaking internet. Can you get one freaking password rule down? I mean, what the heck? I just opened a new thing. And they say, oh, we don't, I had it all down. I had a little formula, so every password's different. And they say, oh, no, we don't support that symbol. And I say, even McDonald's, like Ronald McDonald, Fun Time login supports that symbol, and you don't? Okay, I'm way off. So this, if you're new here, this is what happens. I take some turns. Usually I stay calm, like that calmer part. That was that part of me that was, it's a little bit silly. I'm sending my voice across the deep dark night to take your mind off stuff, all right? So you don't have to think about paperwork or whatever that might symbolize for you that's keeping you up at night. And I'm going to use loving, lulling, soothing tones, or the closest thing, heartfelt, pointless meanders, to try to say, okay, I'm listening to Scoots. I kind of don't know what the hell he's talking about, because he said McDonald's, he went on some Manila tirade, and he doesn't know, like, Pantone or whatever. I think he had the inventor of that on the phone. And everyone was thinking of what would Drake sing, you know. But Scooter did not go into the temptation of singing 14 minutes into the intro. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your mind off, so it's be a little bit silly or a lot bit silly. But I'll be here the whole time. I'm going to go into a story after this, and to take your mind off stuff to help you fall asleep. That's why I'm here. You know, it's if you haven't been here before, yes, this is strange. It's off the beaten path, so far off the beaten path. That words may take on meanings that don't have, meaningless meanings and stuff like that. But it's all well intentioned to try to help you fall asleep, or if you can't sleep, to keep you company. You don't need to listen to me. You don't need to stay awake. Ideally, I'll drift off slowly, and you'll drift off gently into dreamland. But like I said, you don't have to fall asleep either. Like, I'll be here the whole time. I'll be giving it my all, which, as you can see, is, is okay. Well, okay. Wait, honey, did he say he was giving it his all there? Let's say, okay, well, I guess that's the exact right amount of effort that it takes to put somebody to sleep. Scoots is all. And maybe one day that'll be some sort of mathematical form. You know, say, the Scoots is all. How much does it take to put a person to sleep? Scoots is all. And I say, that doesn't make any sense either, Scoots. Okay, well, that's it. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate your time. I'm glad you stopped by. And I really hope, I really yearn to help you fall asleep, all right? All right, hey, everybody, it's Scoots here. I just got that intro in. And I was thinking, man, we haven't done a guided meditation style episode in a while. And we also haven't done like a straight trending Twitter Tuesday episode in a while. It's like, oh, maybe we could do a little bit of both somehow. And since the intro, we already kind of was using that motif. I don't know if that is a motif, but I want everybody is still listening to kind of just to try to sink a little bit deeper in and let your mind clear. As I want you to start thinking about it's spring, and we had that at least recent Woods episode with birds singing. Well, I guess it might be a pejorative, like the birds are just making noises. Or I don't know. I guess maybe I have no idea if they think they're singing, or if they have the ability. If they thought they were singing, wouldn't they be? Like, wouldn't they be in competition with us? They'd be like, I think, therefore I sing, therefore I think. I sing, therefore I am. But let's not overdo it here with the thinking part of things. So I want you to just start to let your mind clear and start to think about, when you think about spring and the outdoors, what comes to mind. I mean, for me, there's willow trees. That's one of the images that just popped in my head. Moisture, indescribable moisture in the air. Maybe it's not visible, but you know it's there. Green and bird, and of course bird noises, birds. Warmth, the it feels warmer if it's daytime. And the birds are flying about, and so one activity that birds do is they make nests. So I want you to close your eyes and think about a bird that might come into your mind. I don't know if it's a raptor or one of those black birds with a red or yellow spot on the side of its wings. I like those. And it could be a robin or a bluebird or a stellar jet, any bird you wish. You can beyond my window of birds. Don't be limited or constrained by the birds that I know. Let a bird come to you and feel its wings spreading through you in some, way that's it's ruffling, a gentle ruffling of feathers, and expanding you, out of you, within you, your bones feel lighter because I guess our bones are hollow too, but I say here their bones are hollow in a different way. So you feel light, but you feel strong. You feel limber. You feel bird-like. You feel like you are bigger than aviary. And you feel like you're soaring and flapping and soaring unless you're a bird that only flaps but yeah, we're on the spring air. And it's sick. Not sure if, because we're human combined with a bird, we can taste the air. We can smell the air. We can sense the air as we cut through the air. And at this pace, it does have a physical element to it that for a human is unfamiliar, but not uncomfortable. Ruffling our feathers, but right in the right way. And we take a turn and we're circling around because we see that bird bath. It's got fresh water. That lady was scrubbing it all day yesterday and she was keeping it covered until just this moment she's removed the trash bag she had over the bird bath to keep all the birds out from it. And she said, because why would you have a bird bath? But we're flying. And we could see the water in there. It's the right tin. And then she's going back into the house with the bag. I don't know what she's got planned for that bird bath, but I know what we got planned. And boom, we hit it. Whatever we call these things, feet first, claws first. Tail feathers hit the water and splash. And then we're doing that bird bath thing where we're shaking and playing, enjoying the water. It's waking us up. I don't know. I guess we were sleeping before. And as a human, you say, Jesus, this is totally not like I thought it was going to be. It's like each water molecule is vibrating within the region of our feathers or underneath our feathers. I can feel some sort of necessary lubrication going on that enables my flight. I can feel pesky particulates and small things, that I've run across in the skies being removed. I can feel myself like a child in a bathtub being both cleaned. At least they technically Scoots. It's not okay. Thanks, but. Technically, maybe not, but like a child in a bathtub being cleaned and having fun at the same time. If you're in the child mindset, oh, this is good, but we are really being cleaned. And just for a second, our human ear picks up on the fact that our feathers are humming as we shake them. And you say, geez, I didn't know this is what it felt like to have feathers. It kind of feels great. I can feel it's like that time I thought about getting acupuncture, but I didn't get it. And maybe that's what acupuncture is like, because I like having these feathers in me. It almost feels like I can control them because I guess technically I kind of can because they're an extension of my body. And then the woman comes out who owns the bird bath. So you say, who owns the bird bath, man? And you try to think to yourself in your human brain how to end an argument in 5 words. Ain't your bird bath. That's 4 words. Lady, this ain't your bird bath. Lady, this ain't your bird bath is 1 word. Maybe. But that's not an argument-ending thing. So you spin around her head, and she says, "Look at my," but she can't see anything because everything that we shook off is either particulate or microscopic, mostly. And then we jump in the bath, and then her face goes from cross to stunned as she sees the joy in our ruffled feather head. like Scoots' fur after a shower, messed up, and just to make you laugh. She laughs and she sees this like making crazy bird bath faces in the bird bath. And she's probably changed now. She says, well, this is what in the heck was I thinking? This is why I got a bird bath to watch birds bathe and not in a, inappropriate way, to watch the joy. Oh, and then her son, the scientist, well, technically, Mom, they're not bathing. She says, shh, don't ruin it. Look at the way that bird's strutting on the side of, I mean, she doesn't know we're in this bird, but oh boy, even if we weren't, we're birding it up. Oh boy, this feels good. Because now we have the joy of rebellion, the joy of performance, the joy of changing a person's attitude, turning a frown upside down, as they used to say at Lionel Kitty City. And the joy of being a bird in a bird bath with a fresh, and then of course there's a selfish joy. Say, yeah, this was some clean water. And they say, then the son says, Mom, is that the the gray water from the toilet? And then you say, no, please, no. And she says, no, I wouldn't do that to, the birds. And that's not gray water. What kind of scientist are you? The gray water would be from the laundry in the kitchen sink. Or maybe not, because I know you're going to try to get me in technicality and say the kitchen sink's not gray. And I say, okay, sonny boy, you're the apple of your mother's eye. Look at this bird. Oh, the bird, because we're off. We got work to do. We're bathed now and we're air drying. And we've hit the sky at the perfect time because it's probably, I don't know what time it is. Is it 10? Is it 11? Is it long enough that the sun's been rising and heating the earth and the air so that there's kind of thermal stuff and our feathers are drying? The air is just warm enough. Oh, and our light bones and our feathers. Oh, we just lost a feather. Oh, it's floating down right into the hands of a child walking into the library, where hopefully they'll find a way to create their own inkwell and start signing stuff like they're doing the Declaration of Independence. Oh, the joy of being a bird. And then you're thinking to yourself, funny stuff, make a film less intelligence. And then you say, isn't it make a film less intelligent? And I said, well, I just made it to it was hashtag less intelligent. That was a joke, man. I'm a bird. You'd say bird on a wire. How we make that a bird in a wire? Bird on a wire. And I say, okay, birdie. And I say, I don't know any other bird-based films on the spot here. Birdman of Alcatraz, Birdman. You say bird brain. Well, that's not less intelligent. You say Birdman. I say, okay. Bird is a word. And you say, well, he said, wait a second, I'm supposed to do something today. Oh, make a nest. I forgot it's spring. And the time has come to procreate. Or just create, I got a nest to build, man. And I'm going to build it within the sight of that bird bath so that I can always go. And maybe, she's got some nice trees there. And we fly around a couple yards over, though. It just, because her and her son, we don't want to be too close. Because they're complex people, and they're loud at night. So a couple houses down in a tall tree, a tall tree that we can see. Oh, we land on this branch. And it's one of the tallest trees in the neighborhood. It's a leaning tree, leaning out the backyard of a house. And near the apex, but not at the apex, is a long branch leaning away from the tree further. And from it, we have a vista. And it's that vista you love to see. And it could be any vista you want. For someone like Scoots, it would be a vista someplace packed, full of people and noise, like the Bronx. A tree leaning over the Bronx with the sounds and the people, the smells, the action. But for some, it might be a suburb or a pond or something beyond my simple understanding of what a vista is to me. You clear your mind as you walk down the branch and the vistas in front of you. And you say, this is the spot for my nest. I mean, back there close to the crook of the tree. But this is where I'll walk out. And I'll scout, man. Not only is this is like a dual purpose area because I can look for worms. I can, look for grubs and other things. I can keep an ear out for sound, that unmistakable raptor caw. And I can enjoy myself because being a bird's not easy. Everybody thinks it's so easy being a bird. But it just is. I guess it's not hard either. It's just being a bird, man. A bird man. But we're just a bird. And, because some of us Scoots, they say they're like a bird man. Or Birdman the movie. I got that word on my brain now, so let me go back to the vista. Wowee. It's a kind of vista that instead of taking your breath away, gives you a breath. Gives you room to breathe because it extends out under you. Quiets the mind. The contradiction for Scoots is that the noises of the Bronx or the Port of Oakland quiets his mind. Now it doesn't quiet everybody's mind, but whatever quiets yours is laying out in front of you right now. And then you hear far off in the distance a banshee-like screech of a raptor. And it's far enough away not to bother you, but it brings you out of your revere or your reverie. And you say, geez, I hope another bird just didn't meet some kind of grim finale. And you say, it's time to start making my nest. And you remember that the high school, not far away from where this tree is, this tall, thick tree with this long, dense branch, with this beautiful vista, with this perfect crook between two branches and the trunk. This tree with this gentle rolling motion you've just started to notice and appreciate. A gentle rolling motion you think is not even from the breeze. This is the motion of the earth. This is the motion of the air. The warmth and the cool air moving. This is the motion of life, and it is gentle and it is soothing. The motion of this tree. But you say to yourself, I have work to do. I can enjoy the motion. Next time I'm going to make sure to enjoy the vista and the motion at the same time. Wow. But you say to yourself, oh yeah, there was a high school where they tested out that new grass. Bellator 155, the grass that that new corporation said, this is a great, they got the school to spend its whole budget. They said, you don't need teachers, you just need grass, man. Why don't you sign a 30-year contract for us to put in fresh grass every year? Bellator 155. The only grass proven to grow, which inspires the growth of youth, will bankrupt the school district, but will continue to grow until the exact date we're supposed to reinstall the grass next year. And if it's not paid in that the Bellator grass will then go into, instantly turn into pricker bushes. And then I say, but to the school, so now it's just a giant, once was a high school, now a symbol of a world gone mad, but also as a bird, you recognize the value for the Bellator 155 grass strain, post, whatever date that it was supposed to be renewed, and it wasn't renewed, so then it turned into pricker bush grass, is the perfect grass for the outside of a bird's nest. Hardy, defensive, and plentiful. And we fly down and we glide and we dive. We circle the school. The wind is picking up in the empty parking lot as paper flies across it. And then over we see more. We see cups. We see straws. We see building materials. But then we dive down to the Bellator 155 grass. And we begin to collect it in a deliberate process of biting and clawing and pulling and flying back and collecting. And then we say, hey, let's collect it and get it air dried. After a couple of trips, we just start dropping the grass in the parking lot as we've watched the wind currents and know that the wind will dry it and collect it against that corner curb where we'll be able to collect more grass and a better. So then we start to weave it together. Air-dried, sun-dried grass and fresh Bellator 155 pricker grass. We even start to take pride as our exterior of our bird's nest develops. We're pointing prickers outward. And we can even see the bird bath, and the woman is down there with her son, and they have chairs out and lemonade. And they're watching other birds in the bird bath. We don't feel territorial or threatened at all because of the rolling motion of the tree and the vista and the joy of the other birds in the bird bath and the joy of the watchers of the birds in the bird bath. And we have a job to do, so we swoop back down to the former high school's parking lots. And we collect more and more Bellator. And then we say, geez, let's start to go. So we sit to get a top of a plastic and we start ripping it up, a plastic soda top from a fast food container. And I say, yeah, that'll add some, we'll stick that into there. And then we see a straw and we decide to shred the straw and use it to even densify the Bellator 155, and we weave it into our bird's nest. We see a McDonald's bag with Jake Peavy on it, and we start to rip up the pieces. Mistake, this was our first mistake in building our nest. Not a tragic mistake, just a waste of time, and we start to put paper in there. But then after we say, well, I don't know if that was a mistake on our last, we say, hey, well, this will make a pretty good bird pillow, this last piece of paper, until it rains, of course, but then we'll just throw it out. And then we start to think about the interior of our bird's nest. We have the exterior, the husk, the protective husk will live within. Like our own, and they said, well, I don't know, because then you think to yourself, this is my first bird's nest. What the heck am I doing? Was this work programmed into my DNA? Or do I have a brainstem or an amygdala? I don't know, I'm a bird, and then, just an ignorant human within a bird. And together, we got limitations, but this is my friend. I don't even know. I'm driven to keep working, though. Then we see the pop top from a soda can. We get that because you say, I like that because it's shiny. Let's put it on. It'll be like, maybe it'll distract somebody or attract somebody. And then we go to the dumpster and we say, that's strange. This dumpster's been here outside this high school that was overtaken by Bellator 155 grass so long ago. Well, not that long ago. We sit on the edge of the dumpster looking over the school, looking over the parking lot, looking at the other side of the school where they decided not to put in the Bellator 155 grass, the sports field, where they put in normal grass and the automatic sprinklers are going. The grass there looks fine. And then a light bulb goes off. You can even see the old scoreboard says Hayward. It must be the name of the school. We say where there's a regular, normal, old school, some kind of grass that didn't have a 1-year fuse and automatic sprinkler system. The bankrupt school district still paying for the water, even though there's not, that means worms for me, man. And you fly over there and you see it. You can see it with your bird's eyes. You can see it with your bird gut. Even a human would know there's worms there. They just wouldn't be able to find it. And then you find yourself swooping down and scooping up a little red worm, gobbling it down and saying jackpot. And you feel yourself grateful. What a day you're having as a bird. The weather, the bird bath, the perfect tree, the Bellator 155 grass takeover of Hayward High School, and then the worms. Man, it's going good. But if you look behind you into the dumpster, that you landed on again as you finished your worm, you see something even better. You see an Easter basket thrown in the dumpster. Within it is artificial grass. It's diaphanous maybe, or it has a color that catches your eye. That might catch the eye of a mate or something. That may be comfortable or may not be, but you don't care because you scoop it up in your mouth and you bring it back to your... Oh, but then you land on your... And you see someone sitting in your bird's nest. And you have a mouthful of artificial grass and you don't want to drop it because if you drop it, it'll fall off the tree because you're just standing on a tree and you don't want to... And you look, but you can't say anything to the bird that's sitting in your bird. And you look at that bird and you study that bird. And you wonder, who the hell is this bird? Is this another human in a bird? And before you can say that, the bird says, yeah, I'm Alan Young. And you say, what in the heck? And you say, excuse me, this is my nest here. I've been working on it all day. And the bird says, Bellator 155 grass, eh? And you say, were you the salesman? And I say, yep, I sold this grass. Not to this particular school, but that's how I got transferred into a bird. How'd you get into one? And you say, a Strange Sleep podcast, actually, and I'm, wait a second, you paid to get into a bird? The sleep podcast is free. And the grass salesman says, and they say, can you please put this artificial grass in here? And then what would you say is Bellator 155? Do you think that's artificial grass or real grass made artificial? And the bird salesman has a bird chuckle, which sounds a little bit like an old person whose dentures came out and then clamped together a few times, like two. And you say, okay, well, just you. And they say, well, actually, since I sold this grass, I'd prefer to stay here. I have an affinity for Bellator 155 grass and enabled me to be transferred into a bird. And I love the motion of this tree and the location of this nest and the vista laid out in front of me. And I love the construction of this nest. It makes me feel secure. The motion of the tree makes me feel at ease. And the vista makes me feel distracted from anything that would overwhelm my bird brain. And you say, I know that's why I chose this place to be my nest. And actually, I was in the middle of a day of just birding around, and I didn't think there'd be conflict here. But this is my nest, I'm afraid to say. And the bird salesman says, tell me one reason why I should leave. And he said, well, I said, please. And I did build a nest. And, you know, the fact that you sold this frankengrass, and it enabled you to go to it. This is the same scientist that invented the grass, enabled you to be implanted in a bird. And that bird just chuckled at that. And you say, well, man, listen, this is can you just please leave? And then Alan, the bird, says, no, I think I'm going to stay here. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably talk to some other birds, keep an eye on this so you can't sneak in here when I'm gone. You seem like you're good at making nests. Why don't you go make another one? You're lucky I work for a corporation that invented this grass. So there's plenty for you to make. And then you say, well, just listen, it's besides the point because I don't even know I'm driven to build this nest. And maybe for all the reasons you stated, but for maybe one reason beyond, I don't know if I should be living in the nest or, partner, I got to do the flashing of the tail feather thing and then, the bird courting and then the bird, it's not like humans. They're not mammals, so you don't want to think about it. But, then the eggs and this, and I think I don't even know if I'll be in the picture to enjoy this nest. But I know something's pushing me to keep this nest, and someone's saying that this is wrong, Alan. This is my nest or the nest of my future, nest of life. And you seem to be just here to just kick back and enjoy it. And while I'm enjoying working as a bird and birding, being a bird is an active thing. And also, I don't like you. This is my human side talking. But I don't like your attitude, and there's something and Alan just chuckles. And you say, well, okay, well, the main reason I chose this is all those things you say are great, but I guess you seem like the only bird I've ever met that doesn't have joy in its heart, Alan. And I almost pity you, because I can go build a new nest, especially with all the Bellator 155 grass and still plenty of trash down there. And I didn't even tell you about the other stuff I found that's going to even keep me going. Well, first thing this morning, I discovered a bird bath. And when I discovered that bird bath, I discovered a joy that I've never felt before. I mean, because this is my first day being a bird too. But also a joy in my human heart I've never felt before. A vibrating joy, Alan. A joy that will forever alter the way I look at birds in a bird bath or a bird bath-like situation, like when birds just bathe in dirt. And I now know that isn't just a sweet moment, Alan. It's a transcendent moment. And maybe I'm overstepping my bounds, but that's how I feel at this moment right now, Alan. And there's something about your bird demeanor, something about the intensity of your feelings, and something about Alan's sales training and knowing the seriousness of a prospect or a businessman and knowing a deal is about to be closed, but there could be a better deal to be made. Alan says, really, you chose this for the bird bath. It's the proximity to the bird bath, Alan, is the proximity to joy. And I could tell you where that bird bath is, but you'd have to leave my nest. And I can tell you that I mean, I guess I can't keep you out of here either, but if I tell you where the bird bath is and you experience the joy of the bird bath, Alan, maybe it'll change you. Maybe it'll alter you too forever. And I can't imagine, I mean, unless like 5,000 birds have been down there making a mess and there's a woman and her son watching, maybe they, unless the situation's changed drastically, Alan, I could tell you that when you go down to that bird bath, or maybe you could wait, maybe we could just share the nest. And Alan shakes his head. And you say, okay, well, I wasn't interested anyway, but I am not going to tell you. I mean, because there's plenty of bird baths around here. Or is there? No. You see, Alan, our world has lost its way. Maybe. Maybe this is a theory. Maybe this is just, again, I'm heady with bird bath love today. And maybe it's just a flurry of feelings that I'm having about bird baths, Alan. But this is the only bird bath I've seen in a long time. The bird bath that was cared for and washed by a woman. And much like the building of this nest, I think the woman was cleaning the bird bath for an entirely different reason, a reason, Alan, beyond her understanding, a drive deeper than thought, Alan. And she scrubbed and cleaned that bird bath and filled it up with the freshest, sweetest water you could get out of a tap. And then she covered the bird bath for the night. Again, she was driven and she wasn't sure. And then she revealed the bird bath to today, right at the moment I was nearby. And I went down and enjoyed that bird bath, and that was not something she was anticipating or desiring, Alan. But as I got in that bird bath, as I vibrated and shook my tail feathers, as I drank of this water, Alan, the woman was changed too, observing me. And she experienced the joy of a bird bath too. And Alan, I can read it on your bird face. This is the craziest thing you've ever heard in your entire life. And I need you to go down there. And I need you to experience that bird bath firsthand. And I don't want you coming back here, Alan. This is my nest. And I consider it a professional courtesy that I've pointed you in a direction of change. And maybe you'll only be a bird today, Alan. I don't know when your little experiment wears off. I know this sleep podcast, it's free, so I can just listen to it again, man. Or maybe it'll extend over and across the clouds and beyond the blue sky into the night of space. But that's for another time, Alan. You should get down there and get to that bird bath. Because while I've been making eye contact with you, I've just learned how to fully use my bird eyes. And while it looked like I was uncomfortably turning my head to the left and the right, out of control and spastically, I was really using those microseconds to observe the woman emptying the bird bath and filling it with cool, crisp water from a hose right this very moment, Alan. And all our conflict could come to a close. All you need to do is latang right out of here, right off this branch, off the rolling motion of my tree. Leave me to finish my nest, the nest I've driven to finish. The nest I have no idea if I'll be awake or asleep. What will happen, who will live here, but I need to complete this. So go, Alan, go down there before another bird gets there and enjoy the bird bath. I've just sold you on a bird bath. You don't have to be ashamed, Alan. As a salesperson, you've been sold, but it was a fair sale. And you'll learn that in a world with bird baths and Frankenstein grass, it is not a zero-sum world. And then you indicate with your head the direction of the bird bath, and Alan silently flies off and heads off to a new, more joyous life, maybe. Or maybe the woman says, I don't want, who cares? Because we got our nest back and we started. And as the time has gone by, the sun has started to wane in the sky, but the temperature has not gone down yet. So we stop by the sports field and we have some worms. And we stop by the dumpster and we collect some more baubles. We collect some more artificial grass. We could collect some zip ties and some more grass from the high school. Some shredded pieces of notebook and even one with a little poem on there. Or we thought it was a poem. It just really says Bert stinks, but they say, well, yeah, and they say, oh, it's by Ernie as a joke on the other side. And I say, okay, the nest is complete. And we spend some time making it more comfortable for whom we don't even know. But as the sun gets lower and the temperature of the earth and the temperature of the air start to change, the motion of the tree gently changes too. And we feel within our DNA, within our makeup, that the nest is complete. And we take a hop out of the nest and out down the branch to the vista. And the tree rolls with us, a gentle rolling motion towards and away our vista, to and fro our view, makes up everything we can see, the sky and the earth in front of us, something that sets us at ease, a motion that sets us at ease, a knowledge that we've done something we were supposed to do and it is done, a conflict that we changed and gave joy to a bird that probably really needed it, a bird bath that can bring joy to everyone. A trend of birds taking this strange grass. Maybe this will catch on and the grass will leave the high school and the sounds of the children will return to the school. And, maybe the grass salesman will stay a bird and not sell any genetically altered grass to underfunded school district. But yeah, we enjoy the motion as twilight comes. We go back to the bird's nest and we know for tonight it is ours. For tomorrow, it may be another bird's. It may be a bird that is in our lives. It may be a bird that we give and share life with. Maybe birds of our life. We don't know, but for tonight, we bed in this nest with this view, with this motion, with this palatable air. We rest in our nest. And we remember the joy of this morning, the joy of the bird bath, the joy of the look on the woman's face, and her son, and their wonder as we bathed in a bird bath. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. All right, I want to say thank you and good night. I get some new reviews to read. These are reviews of reviewing sites, believe it or not. They're all pretty good, though. SK1032 says 5 stars. You'll never hear the end of these reviews. Can't fall asleep. These reviews can fix it. Never made it to the end. Thanks, SK1 1032. Author Graham loves this criticism site. Oh, that's a criticism. I'm confused. Author Graham in Canada. Oh, that's a reviewer. Love it. That's a review site. I'd say it probably has biased reviews. If it's love it. 5 stars. These reviews are amazing. Dear Scooter is a genius reviewer. Oh, thanks. He always amuses to bore me to reviews. Been spreading the reviews to all my reviewing friends. Here's another one, Nicola Piccola Pickles. I think I just like saying that. That's an Australian reviewer. And this is a mouthful for the site that's 5 stars that works like a charm every time. This is a good sign. They're all positive reviewing sites, reviewing stuff. Best reviews ever. Thank you. Noni K. This is maybe a secular review site. Blessed. 5 stars. I feel blessed to have found this. Stops the brain bots and helps me fall asleep to good reviews. Possum Esquire. They like the review site Throw Away Your Drugs. Blissful gift of sleep and rest via reviews. Thank you. And then Daniel F. and LFK from the USA is a smiley face. That's another positive review site. Smiley face, 5 stars. A Scooter is wonderful reviews. This podcast, these reviews help me fall asleep every night. 5 stars from me. Dorkosaurus Rex, Soother in Chief, Andrew Scoots for President of reviewing review sites. Podcast reviewing review sites is best ever. A podcast reviews with the review podcast. I don't know. I don't have a tagline. This podcast reviewing review sites is the best ever. Been using it for about 3 sites. Brought me through stressful times. Lulling, soothing, emotional safety in a bottle. Thank you, Dorkosaurus Rex. Scuba Girl WW. I like that. Scuba Girl WW. From Australia is reviewing the site. Insomniac's Best Friend. 5 stars. These reviews are a real lifesaver. Better than prescription reviews. And you know you could get a review prescription. Put you to sleep with a smile. Thanks a million. Ambien No More from the USA says, ladies and gentlemen, I started listening to these reviews a couple of months ago. Various podcasts made me go to sleep each time. I return each time to sleep with me. The review site reviewing reviews because I also made a small pledge. Thank you. Connie Cola from the UK. Writes love. I found this reviews of reviewing very helpful. I have sleep problems easing to sleep because I start to feel anxious at bedtime. But the friendly, warm, safe tone help give me good feelings of safety. Appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you reviewing the reviews that reviewed. This next one, Chatman from the UK. A sleep app that actually is a sleep review app that actually works is amazing. Works perfect for me. Had problems sleeping till I found these reviews. Thanks, Chatuman. 82647 475A. So it's definitely a serial number for a robot. Cure for insomnia and racing. Thoughts works as advertised at 10 p.m. or 3 a.m. Could change your reviewing life if your reviews need sleep. I went from couldn't get to sleep, couldn't stay asleep, to nodding off easily. And if I get up in the middle of the night, which happens not less frequently now, I just put my headphones on and I'm going soothing voice, soothing reviews, soothing stories, walking in the woods, how dolphins sleep are good ones. Also support the reviewing the reviews with the reviews of $1 a month donation. Thank you. And I say, please do the same or more if you can. Thanks, 826475A. How about this one? Guy and Nix, NYX. Thank you. For the last couple of years, I've been listening to BBC all night, every night, to fall asleep and stay asleep. But I discovered this podcast by chance, and I'm so happy. Literally, start reviewing the reviews and let it play up all night Wake up less, fall asleep faster. Wonderful, wonderful idea. Thank you. Well, thank you. Never fails. That's extras. Extras. I think that's how you say it. XSSTRS. Extras. 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 Extras, maybe. EXTRA. Maybe not. Never fails 5 stars. No matter how distracted or not tired I am, the reviews always put me to sleep in 15 minutes every time. Okay, this is another one here. Sagulepat. Sagulapat. 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 I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting it. Sagulapat. Sagulapat. Am I saying something embarrassing? Sagulapat. I'm not sure, but they say it's the best thing ever. That's from Australia. They works like a charm. Thank you, Sagulapat. Swayze NL, capital N, capital L. I don't know if that's from somebody from P. Swayze's family from Canada. Works every time. Anytime I have trouble falling asleep, I turn on the reviews and never make it to the end. And we have another bot, N88, NE88. Actually, it's a periodic table bot because that looks like NE, I think, is on the periodic table. Amazing. I've had insomnia my whole life. On a good day, I fall asleep before 3 a.m. Gave up trying new tricks a long time ago. Then I heard about this podcast, reviewing reviews, decided to give it a try. Puts me out, capital O, capital U, capital T. Strange, charming, I adore it. I still can't believe how well it's worked for me these past few nights. I'm talking under 10 minutes. Amazing. Just enough to distract you from the thoughts that keep you awake, but boring in the best way ever to lull you to sleep. Love you so much. Wow, thank you, NE88. I don't know what your half-life is, but thank you very much. Let's see. I'm sleeping like a baby. That comes in from Australia from Lizzie _ Prob Zuckerman. Zuckerman. Probs Zuckerman. Lizzie _ Probs Zuckerman. Sounds crazy, but it works. Recommend it to anyone who has trouble sleeping. Never make it more than 30 minutes. Finding has been a godsend. Thank you. Next one's from the USA. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This sounds like a new hide and seek game. Yeah, what game you playing? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 days old. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am cold. Isn't that one of those things you say as a kid? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 days old. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The bread has mold. Yes, sir. No, sir. Blofeld's cold. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 9 days old. But yes, sir says this is a real deal good. Help me reviews. These reviews help me sleep since day one. Paired with a sleep mask, you can't not sleep. I've had insomnia 20 years. Trust me, I tried a lot. Pretty excited to see how this kept going. Thanks, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And finally, never fails to work. Purely superb. That comes in from Marta Dams 89 from the UK. Marta Dams 89. It's one of my favorite dams to visit in the UK. Marta Dams 89. It was one of those, it's a good one. It's over the Marta River, and it's a dam, and it's the number 89th dam. Never fails to work purely. Struggle to sleep on and off for a few years now, racing thoughts and all that. Discovered this a few weeks back. It's worked every time. There's just simply nothing like this. Nothing simply like this. Thank you, Marta Dams 89. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. And get a good night's sleep. And if you want to review the show, go sleep on podcast.com/iTunes. Bye.